Hello and welcome to devlog number 7. My name is Jonathan Haile. I'm currently wrapping up my college degree in game design, and this is the documentation of my point and click RPG, Project Elysian. So let's get into things. Okay, so first thing up on the agenda is I have been working on my Firebolt spell, just kind of making it more interesting. Uh, First thing, or not, I mean, not really the first thing I did, but easy thing to show here, added gravity to it. So you can see right there, there's a little curve right there. And actually, let me go over to where I've overlap events here on the meshes so you can actually see the gravity and the explosion. See right there, it has a little arc. Right now, I'm playing with the gravity still. It's not, I don't know what values I'm going to do. Um, Currently, I have it set, let's see here. Where did I put it? Um, 0.6. I don't know how much I want to do. I think I maybe a little lower. Let's actually do 0.4. But I did that, and then I'm changing the speed of it. It was 500. I have it 650 now, just because there's gravity. Because it doesn't. How does it go infinite now? Because before it was just go forever go straight. And I also, when I did that, I was messing around with the pitch override. Again, values I'm still playing with. I want to make sure that it feels good. I don't know what quite feels good yet. I'll just have to keep on playing with it. But like, I feel like I kind of like that. That's actually looks pretty nice. Um, so there's that now. Just making the firebolt a little more interesting. And then something fun I did is first of all, I've been playing around with the knockback on enemies. I had it set way too high, and it was conflicting with the new thing added, which is multiple projectiles that actually home. So when you level up your ability, you get one more projectile, up to five projectiles. And when you upgrade them, they actually have a homing capability that I created. So you see right now it's just the singular. And I love that death impulse magnitude. It's so much fun just having them fly back like that. See here, they get too close. Can't hit him anymore with that gravity, but alright, so we leveled up. And I'm gonna select the spell, spend my skill points. See right there in the description, tell me what I'm gonna get next. So when I level up, it's gonna launch 2 firebolts. Alright, that is done. And let's do it. As you can see, it's launching 2. Pretty fun stuff. And it's also, as you can see, so you're launching 2 kind of like directional, and then it's homing back in, which is pretty cool looking in my opinion. Like I said, I was playing with the knockback because I was setting it to knockback every single time. Like every single time you hit an enemy, they get knocked back, and it was, messing up with the homing because like then it's like you spend a skill point on your firebolt spell to get another projectile that homes, and then only one of them hits because the first hit does knockback, and by the time the second hit gets there, it can't home in properly. So I lessened the knockback amount and the knockback chance. So now it's actually double hitting it. And then when you level it up now, I changed the mana cost a little bit. So when you hit level 2, it costs 0.5 more mana. Probably going to adjust that more. I think it's a little bit OP right now, honestly, because you can just spam Firebolt. But yeah, so there's that. So how I kind of did that is I just created a formula to calculate the projectile spread. I was doing like some debugging stuff, which I didn't record. Maybe I should have, but it was just, you get to see the end result of everything. And then I created a function for like rotators in the ability system, and then just overhauled the Firebolt ability. And then C++, or not C++ here, and the actual like blueprints here, some more tangible I can show you. So I always had the homing target when I was creating the spawn projectiles, and so I'm passing in the homing target, which how I'm getting that here is on the break hit result. I just made hit actor a variable, set it right here, called it mouse hit actor, and then I call it right here, so it just knows where it's going. And yeah, so that's what I started working on. Just making things a little bit cooler, a little more interesting to play around with. I'm liking how it looks, actually. I'm a pretty big fan of that gravity scale pitch. I think that's kind of perfect. Because it makes you, because you can't like, if they get too close, you can't, yeah. I don't know, I think that's pretty good. All right, I'll see you in the next update. All right, I think it's time that I do a little update here before I get too ahead of myself. So, been working on the shock spell, which has kind of spiraled into working on many different aspects of the game. But first and foremost, in the animation graph, I started up getting those shock animations to be working. So, if we go to assets here, um, character animations. So I had this shock loop stuff, and I went and created an animation montage just for that beginning cast phase. Um, and then I went in and added that to my animation blueprint here. So, um, not here, sorry. Main state here. So created the transitions to the shock loop, just kind of making sure you're entering that. And so then you're playing this animation here. Just kind of so I don't know, not that exciting, just setting up animations. But so then I created an interface function to use the shock spell, set that all up, and then did learn about this thing called invoke replicated events, which essentially just allows me to have like button inputs that you're holding down, and what the entire time you're holding it down, it casts a spell because like so the firebolt spell is just like a you click it once and it fires, but the shock spell is going to be like a sustained area of effect damage thing. And to do that, you have to be like so the entire time you're holding down the input, you're casting that shock spell. It's like a shocks like a beam basically. So I had to go in and reconfigure some interface stuff and add in the ability to have the inputs have like pressed and release stuff, and then in like the actual electrocutability here, in the event graph, adding in well first of all, so storing the mouse data variables, and then so I'm talking about the combat interface, creating this new combat interface. Then going in here, waiting for input release. Again, like I said, I was setting that up. That's then invoke replicate abilities or invoke replicated events that I was talking about, and then so on release. So this is, I guess I'm showing that over here. This is like the end spell. This is how you end it. So also, I created a way to this is all over the place. I'm sorry, but I created a way to block the player's movement. So if they're like holding down an input, they can't move because once I got up the ability to actually like have the button presses and have like you be able to hold down the inputs. If so, say like the shock spells on the one key, you could still right click and while you're doing the shock spell, or you could still like move around. It was really wonky, so I had set up a way to set movement modes. So like here, this is re-enabling the movement mode. So it's once I release the key, it says okay, we'll set the movement mode back to walking, which is the default movement mode. I'll show you how it works here. This is like the ending again. This is like how it ends the ability, but then up here, when we activate the ability, and I was hiding the mouse cursor. I'm deciding to just keep it. I might reconnect the stuff later to show them or to hide the mouse cursor when using the shock spell, but for right now, I just rather keep it on there. And so we update the facing target here with the combat interface, and then we go here, play the montage and wait. That's that electrocute montage that I made. So it's playing that little cast spell or the little casting animation, and then it's waiting for gameplay events, which is the electrocute montage, which hold on here, which is just like in any other of the montages I've been setting up. having the motion warping on there, and then the montage events, setting the proper tags, just making sure everything's called. It's the same way I've been doing my firebolt spells, just kind of repeated the process of the new animation. So I did that, and then it's saying, okay, we're in the shock loop, which is this function right here. So while you're like in the shock loop, while you're using the shock spell, it's disabling your movements. Like I said, that was an issue. And then I created another function called get weapon to be able to spawn the Niagara effect for the shock spell at the weapon, so it finds the weapon and knows where to attach the system. It's slightly different than firebolt spell, because the firebolt spell it's like a one-off thing, and it's like a sustained thing, so I had to do things a little bit differently. You can just create a new function for it. So there's all that. And then I learned, or not learned, I mean, I kind of knew about it already, but I started implementing like gameplay cues to be able to call like the sound effects on things now, or like be able to call Niagara effects, and just like, so creating like notifies basically, which I have a new folder for. Gameplay cue notifies here. So shock burst, just playing the sound, the shock sound, like, so that's the initial casting sound basically. And so I just override it on execute, and then I have like the one for in shock loop here, which is a little more complicated. And so why it's active, breaking gameplay parameters, getting the mouse hit location, spawning the system, the beam system, which is just, I'm promoting the Niagara effect to a variable and calling the beam system because it's a flexible Niagara effect. Like there's like 2 points to the beam basically, and I have to kind of direct where that's going. So there's that. And then setting the Niagara variable vector, and then hitting that return node, and then on remove. So this is why it's active, or while active, and then on remove, just get validated. I would get validated get on the beam system, and then it just destroys that component once I stop using it. Yeah. And again, a lot of the stuff, C++ that I'm just not going to explain, but that's kind of how it's all working in blueprints. Probably not the best explanation. It's a lot of different moving pieces, but all that to say, end result here. And it's not done. It's a little wonky, but so I have the shock spell equipped, and right now I am firing that beam. So you heard that initial shock spell, or my words are everywhere right now. You heard that initial like casting, so that's like the initial, and then I haven't created a sound for it. It's actually shocking yet, but you can see wherever my mouse pointer is, it starts shocking. Again, it's wonky, but we're working on it. It's progress. First, like, actual new spell. It's not the firebolt spell. Because the firebolt spell is what I've been working on this entire time and been iterating on, and why it's cool. It's fun to have an actual new spell here. So, anyways, I'm going to keep on hammering away at this and improving things, and I'm sure I'm going to not go over everything I've done since last video, because there's been a lot of disparate parts, but the end result of everything is the shock spell's working. I added in the beam sound effect to the like the shock gameplay cue systems I was just talking about in the last video, and then I created a new target trace channel, and that's and then I use that to kind of allow me to find nearby actors, so the beam can kind of like, if you hit one actor, then it will, like, as you leveled up, it will move on to the other actor, or like at the same time it will simultaneously shock both actors at same time. And I had to create, like I said, a new trace target or trace channel for that, and some new functions in C++, or a lot of new functions in C++, but we don't really go over that. That's not fun. And then once I got all that working, actually just start making like all like the damage stuff, like cooldowns for the electrocution ability. So you can see here I have the damage type sets. Oops, hold on. We don't wanna do anything too crazy here. Hold on. I should always open this stuff before I start talking, but I didn't. So yeah, we have the cooldown set here now. Um, we have the cost set here. Created all that. Have like the table set up. I added in the data for it. So see CT cost now has lightning electrocute in there. The mana costs are very different from Firebolt since this is a sustained spell. So it's like constantly draining your mana, and the same goes for the damage. The damage is much lower than the other spells, just because, like I said, you're constantly applying that damage throughout the entire time. Let's see here. I don't know. Just going through stuff like just like a setup to actually make this ability work. Setting the cooldown, which is easy to create the tags, and now since everything's like data driven, it's reading the tags and there's displaying the proper cooldown timer on the tag or on the UI. Then a lot of just a lot of things going on in this spell, electrocution spell now. So just kind of like going over stuff. We have a lot of just variables here. So primary target died. I'm removing the gameplay queue, and then clearing the timer and ending ability. So there's like a cooldown timer and how long it's shocking. This is what that clear timer and ability looks like. So giving the damage or cost timer, correct end ability, committing ability cooldown, clearing the additional targets and additional actors to queue params that I'm storing, setting them out to set actor, all that, clearing like the time or like the minimum input time. So like if you like what like the minimum input time here is down here. So like you have to like hold down the cast spell for so long before it even registers. So if it's like if you just like accidentally click on the ground, it's not going to do anything. You have to at least be holding or like whatever button you're clicking. If you accidentally like just press the button real quick, it's not going to do anything. You actually have to sustain and hold it down for at least 0.5 seconds. So that's what that's kind of doing. So yeah, I'm calling the clear timer and end ability function a lot, but then we have the if additional target died, remove the additional target and remove the shock loop cube from happening. I think I'm pretty sure I went over some of this stuff earlier, but just a lot going on here. I simplified a few things, made a few things more complicated. Spawn beam is pretty much the same. I'm pretty sure I showed this last time, but that's all relatively similar. We got that going. We head back here to the main event graph. We're setting the timer here. Damage cost, creating ability cost. Simplified this branch a little bit. Now we're just applying damage or clearing the timer, and clearing the timer and ending ability. Any hoosers, none of that really matters. Here's the cool thing. So start. Since I'm only level 1 right now, it's only going to do one spell beam or one shock beam, but see right here, it's pretty cool. We'll kill another guy here. Alright, leveled up, and each time you level up the spell, you get one more beam. So you can hurt more enemies at the same time as you progress. So now it should find the closest enemy, which is what we're talking about the trace channel. It's kind of like just like getting in a certain radius all the actors or all the hostile actors and shocking them. It's smart enough to kind of know like which one's actually the closest and which one it should go to. I probably maybe should have showed like the debugging like lines and stuff as I was setting it up, but now you can see the end result. So you see here, I was firing at that guy and it went back to that guy as well. So if I was to level up again, I'd have 3 beams. I don't know what I'm going to cap it at yet, probably like 5. But yeah, so really cool stuff. The spell's like actually working. It's not done. I still have to like do like debuffs, like the stun debuff, like I have with burning, and create like more animations for it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And you can see like if the mana's draining here, there's an issue like he doesn't like face the direction exactly I want her to sometimes when casting a spell. I'm not like too worried about it, honestly. Might be something I iron out later, but yeah, pretty cool. Also like you see the cooldown timer working down there, so 0.5 seconds is the cooldown. But yeah, see you soon. I now have the stun fully completed with the debuff and everything. So now there's an electrocution debuff, very similar to what the fire one is. While I was making that, I ran into a lot of little hiccups. I got sidetracked by some things. I'll show you here in a minute, but I was creating a blackboard key for stun in the behavior trees for the enemies, like their AI. And I was like testing it to see if it was running because it's working as intended, I think. The main reason why I made a blackboard key was so like it's if they're stunned, like if they're stopping all their movement, because if they're burning, they can still move. That's fine. But when they're stunned, like I don't want any movement happening. I don't want them to fire. Like they're stunned, they shouldn't be moving. Um, and so I was doing. So I'll just show you. And then I promise I'll show you what the actual stun is here in a second. But so in my AI here, behavior trees. Let's go to the enemy. So I created a new blackboard in my not stuns, and I have this new stun blackboard key, and it should all be working because I put in like what this should be doing in C++. But you'll see here if I because I this might just be like I don't know if this is an issue with things not registering correctly because the behavior trees are working, it's just not telling me it's working like in this testing. So if I run this right here, you'll see that like so when I stun them, the stunned boolean should turn to true, but it's not. So you see like nothing's happening there, and I'm just a little confused what's going on, but it's working, and like the same should be for hit reacting. It should be showing true when I hit them, but for some reason it's not. But it's working. If by any chance someone's watching this video and knows what's going on, please tell me. But I doubt that you could tell me what's going on based on that little information. But so I freaked out about that for a while, and I was trying to like rework the AI, and I was checking all my like parent classes and like what behavior tree I assigned. I was combing through my code, like what's going on here. I couldn't figure it out. But again, it's working as intended, so I'm not too hung up on it. But I guess now will be a good time just to show you the stun, as you already saw, but on these non-moving enemies here. So when I stun them now, they kind of go in this little daze state. I am tweaking so they go into the like hit react pose a little too, like it's there too long. Like I like this weird like head back thing. So I don't know what's going on. Like if you stun them real quick, like they kind of I don't know what that is. I don't know why that's happening. I'm trying to fix it. I think it might have like an issue with like the blend time, maybe. So the stun's not fully done, but this is just I want to record a video now talking about it since I have most of the piece working and I just need to do some polishing up. But so you can see right here, like there's a like stun effect and then there's an effect why I'm shocking them. So why I'm shocking them, they kind of like do that little like freeze animation, like they can't move or do anything, and then they go into the daze state. And they also have a daze Niagara effect now, similar to burn. Just like on each character class, I have that added in. So see right here with stun debuff. If I go to viewports, let me auto activate it so you can see it. But so it just pops up right there. Which honestly, I feel like I probably need to lower his just a wee bit. So yes, there's that. Like I said, the stun was a lot of work. I wasn't expecting the debuff to be so hard. But I got it figured out. It was a lot harder to do than the burn one, or maybe it's just because I was getting sidetracked is why it was harder, and I'm having these animation issues that I'm trying to figure out. But the core of it's working, which is nice. what am I thinking here? So also I can get stunned. That is a thing. Let me go on to these guys. Let me show you how I can get stunned here. Let me go into the enemy's ability. I'm just gonna change their melee attack to stun me. So damage lightning here. Debuff chance 100. Okay. So just pretend I'm getting hit with the lightning bolt basically when they hit me. So you can see. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, the player character gets stunned. I can't move or do anything. I can't fire spells. Nothing. Obviously, that's really unbalanced, but just for purposes, I can get stunned. It works on Aura too, and I did or not Aura, Elysia. That's Aura is what I was calling her. So I'm blocking a bunch of input tags on her when that happens, just to make sure she's not moving, and also setting some stuff in C++. The C++ stuff is just a lot of reworking the character classes and attribute sets, so character base, enemy base, all that. So that was a lot of fun, but yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to say here, stun debuff is working and it's cool, and I really like the I do too much damage, but I really love like the when they're being shocked, they kind of just shake and they can't move, which is really fun. I'm gonna continue to play with animations and like blend in times to like see what's going on with that, because it just goes into it too suddenly. I don't know if I need to adjust the blend time of the shock loop or the stun animation, but something needs to be changed. I'll just play around that until it looks nice, because like I feel like on these guys it's not as bad. If I do like, it's still kind of weird, I guess. It also might just be like the way they're animating. It's and like they revert to. It's weird. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling. That's the shock spell mostly working, and I'll see you in the next update. I lied real quick. I'll just show you that, like how I set all these animations. So on the blackboard, or in the ABP animation thing on the enemies here. Where are my characters? ABP enemy. So I'm sorry. I should have thought this more through before I just ended that video. But so we have the stuns. So this is like the stun state. Secrets playing here, which I'll show you in a second. What animations I'm using. It's different animation for each character. But so sequence player for the stun, and then a sequence state for being shocked. So it's like the being shocked is like when they're just frozen, and then the stun state's kind of like when they like ragdoll their heads a little bit. And that's being set here. Well, first of all, we have the transition states, which is just being shocked, not being shocked. But in the event graph here, I'm setting it, because this is all stuff I made in C++, so I'm just setting it here, is stunned, is being shocked, so I can call it. So I'm getting that, updating the animation here. And then so on each like character class here, if I just, we'll just show you on this one. Ghoul. So for example, go to animation graph, main state, being shocked. I have a shock loop playing, and then also this is the stun animation. So there's all of that. Okay, yeah. Now the video's gonna end, or this segment's gonna end. So sorry for the random clips, but I'm not editing this. This is all gonna be in. So, you know. So I have begun work on creating passive spells for Elysia now that I created the first parts of the Firebolt and Lightning spell. So I did that by first just going into C++, making a new passive spell ability, and setting all of that up. See right here, passive spell, .h files as well, and then creating gameplay tags for all of that stuff. And integrating it into all my other little systems. But on the blueprint end, or on the Unreal Engine end, I set all that stuff up in my ability info. So if I go over here to data, so now these are in there. So same as like how my shock spell and fire spell in there. Added in these 3 new abilities, which are uh, Halo Protection. Names I don't know what I'm gonna call them, but like it's a protection halo. So it's called that. Um, Setting icons here. It's these graphical assets. Created new materials. These like the kind of flowing materials. How I'm using all these orbs for like the health and mana. And like icons. I just created new versions of them with different colors of what I wanted to be. So the halo is goldish. Then obviously since I made that passive spell gameplay ability in C++, I'm setting that here. So you can see if I go to abilities here, passive spells, have all these gameplay abilities. So Halo Protection, they're all bare bones. They're not really doing anything right now. Right now, I just have print strings to show when they activate and deactivate, and then setting those ability tags on them, which I created. So passive ability, Halo Protection, Halo Siphon, or not Halo Siphon, Life Siphon. Pardon me. So yeah, going in there, setting those tags, just so the UI and stuff can communicate and it knows what's going where and what it should do. So set that all up, and then I realized when I was like testing the level up stuff, when I was getting like, so if I set the XP amount to like a super high level because I just want to unlock all the spells super quick, and I realized that when I was leveling up, if it had like multiple level ups at the same time, which really the player never should do, but just in case, it wouldn't award multiple spell points. So there was some like overlap there. So I had to dive in to the files and figure out what was going on there. But now that's all working. And then to make these passive spells work, so how my spells work right now obviously is like an input press it activates it, but I wanted them to be activated on a equip spell. Like when you equip it, I wanted to activate it immediately because you're not pressing any buttons to make these passive spells work. They're just once you equip them, they're working. So I had to create a way to do that, and how then when you like unequip it, it deactivates. And so that was basically like a delegate, broadcast delegate, and tells it what to do. Same thing with like so they're represented by with like Niagara effects. So it's also that delegate is calling like when to activate the Niagara effect and when to deactivate it, just kind of in correlation with the ability. But anyways, that all that to say, just let me actually go into my XP cost and raise it super high up. So we'll just do it on the warrior here. Let's just grab this and put it to a crazy amount. Here we are. All right, so I'll just show you here when I kill these guys. Get some XP. There we go. That one just brought him to level 4. There we go. Okay, so go full screen here. Spells here, so you can see that all these spells. So I guess I should have showed you, but they are locked until level 2. So I hit level 5. So all these are unlocked and available to me now. So I can spend a point, get that one, spend a point, get that one, spend a point, get that one. So now I have all 3 of these spells here. And then I can only have 2 passive spells equipped at one time. So I can do equip. I also had to work on the animation for like the box selecting icon. It wasn't that hard, just had to move around the translation because I used to have a right mouse input and I made the animations around that. And since I removed that, everything was kind of skewed off to the left. So fixed that up, but now it's working, showing the proper place where you can equip it. So see right here, Life Siphon, equip that. It's equipped. And now you can see around Elysian here that there are these little red little, I don't know, orbs, wisps, whatever you want to call them. I don't know if this is going to be the effect that I keep there, but for right now I like it. And the spells don't do anything yet, but it's activating. It's working it will work once I actually add function to it. But as you can guess, a Life Siphon will steal life from the enemies and put it into your character. And then if I want to go here, I can also equip Halo Protection. Equip here, Halo Protection is equipped, and now I have the red and a gold little orb swishing around me, showing me that the Halo Protection is activated, which will be like a shield. Or I can just say I don't want the health siphon, I want the mana siphon. Just swap that out. There we go. The health orb goes away, and now I have a purple sort of mana orb representing magic. Or obviously you can swap out Halo protection here. Deactivates, activates that new one. And yeah, so that's pretty much all. It's just kind of cool to get this working. Some more spells, you can see it down in the UI. It's nice to start filling out the spell menu more and more. And I need to start working on the last spell, which will be like not a fire spell, a blizzard spell, which I'm probably gonna start work on here pretty soon. Or I might actually make these passive spells like a actual thing instead of it just activating. But yeah, so I'm gonna probably stop rambling unless I have anything else to say, which I don't think I do right now. See you in the next clip. So I have been working on the passive spells. I had to kind of think like, okay, what are these actually going to do? Because I have like the names for them and like the vague ideas, but I was like, realistically, what's possible here? At least for me to figure out on my own. And what I kind of settled on is 3 of them. So first of all, I changed it so you can only have 1 passive spell equipped. So I removed the other passive slot. I don't think you really need 2. And they're going to be basically there's like little buffs. So 1, I have. I'll just let me unlock them here. There's enough skill points to unlock. So for Aura of Life, I changed the names to it. So this is like just like a little heal effect. So we'll equip this passive spell right here, and have some damage be done to me. There we got the damage, and it's a very subtle. Well, I'm bleeding right now, but you can see it's very subtle. Just kind of my health is slowly regenerating. And then let's say, you know what? Actually, I don't want that one on. I want to actually regenerate mana. So I can spend a point of this, equip that. All right, so now we have a mana regeneration spell, or a passive ability. I don't know why I'm calling it spells. So you can see right there that removed that gameplay effect. So my health is no longer regenerating. And if I fire off some fireballs here, just spam it. The cost is really low on firebolts. But you can see right there, it's slowly just regenerating my mana. Or let's say, okay, I actually don't want mana regeneration or health regeneration. I'd rather be a little bit stronger. You can spend a point on the Halo protection, which essentially just raises your resistance a little bit. I guess I should look here. So right now you can see my resilience is 14. And that's normally would be 12, and that's because of the Halo protection. So let's see if I go ahead and can I unequip things? No, I need to make an unequip function. Let's go ahead and equip the health regeneration. So my resilience was 14 because of that gameplay effect, and now it is back to 12. So that's basically what those passive effects will do. You have to choose which one you want. When the full game's actually going, these will probably be higher unlock spells, like upper levels. But yeah, so basically, I guess I should explain how I did that. Also, I understand I need to like rework the UI. It doesn't look great. I think that will be like a later on thing. I want to keep a little functionality of the UI, but I'm definitely going to be moving around spell globes and resizing things. I just don't. It's not great looking, and it's bothering me, but I think it's functional for now. So, whoops, what is that? Okay. Any Hoosers. In the ability systems here, abilities. So I have the passive spells. So we have I did call them Halo Protection, Life Siphon, Mana. So Halo Protection. What it's doing here is I'm also so I haven't figured out for some reason the upgrading isn't working on these. But they have value. So like once I figure out how I do that again. I don't know what I'm missing here. Um, they should be upgradable, and if I can't figure it out, I'll just make it like a one-time thing, a one-time upgrade. But or a one-time unlock and then they're not upgradable, which I think would be fine. I think it actually might be a little bit better. But right now, how I made it, I have the capability to make them upgradable because I made curve tables. So, anyways, uh, so when the ability is activated, when it's equipped, you get to the ability level. Uh, Make outgoing gameplay effect spec. I created so for the raise resistance, I created a custom gameplay effect for raising resistance, um, which is just right here. Um, and then I assign set by color magnitude, get the spec handle, magnitude 1, apply gameplay effect spec to owner, and then I set that ability handle. And then to remove it, so like when I unequip the ability, get the avatar active from info, get ability system component, and remove active gameplay effects, and then call that ability handle. And then for like the life siphon and mana siphon, I'm actually just using the gameplay effect that I created a long time ago for like the area heal and the mana heal. That's like back in one of the first devlogs. I figured, that actually be a pretty little nice thing to use right now. So same process basically, but for the life siphon, it's calling that heal area gameplay effect. And then on the mana one, it's calling the uh, mana area effect. But everything else is pretty much the same. And then it's annoying because like for like spell descriptions, I had to go in and create new child classes for my passive abilities because that's how the spell descriptions are handled. Like they're set like in the C++ class. So for this one, it says Aura of Life, Spiritual Blessing that generates health, Spiritual Blessing that raises all resistances, Spiritual Blessing that generates mana. And then right here, it's like I haven't got the upgrading to work. I don't know what I'm missing. It just says cannot be upgraded. But the thing is, you can still use skill points to like upgrade them. It says the level's going up, but like the values just aren't changing. I don't know why, because like ideally what would happen was you level up, like for the Halo protection, you'll get more of a bonus to your resistance, or as you level up the mana regeneration, your mana regenerates faster and faster. I don't know what piece I'm missing though. So placeholder just cannot be upgraded. Hopefully the player doesn't use the skill points on them. Oh, I need to figure out a way to like block the skill points. I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm gonna shut up. So yeah, and you see here I removed the slot because I only want one passive slot. It's just so annoying because I can tell like down there a little space. It's like it's not quite centered. But it's fine. I'm gonna redo this whole UI eventually. I guess I don't really like the like it being at the bottom here, and I don't need her picture up there. I think that's kind of dumb. But yeah, I guess I can show you. So I create separate classes for all these passive spells, and that's literally just to have the description in there. You see right here, saying the description, just a simple title and the text, and then I just reparented them because like all this is being derived from the passive ability. What am I trying to say? Or a passive, yeah, the passive ability. Everything's being derived from this class, so these are all just trial blueprints. Yeah, now that I have those passive spells done, I've jumped ahead to get working on the third and final spell type. Earlier in the video, I think I might have said it was an ice spell. Don't know what was going on in my brain there. It's Arcane, which is sort of like a general, I don't know, magic thing. So the three spell types are Fire, Lightning, Arcane. Those are like the elements. And what I kind of want to do with this one is have it be like an area of effect spell that kind of spawns these magic crystals from the ground to damage enemies. So I started first by making a magic circle actor, which is this right here. Essentially, it's just an actor that displays decals, and I can call that on my ability when I activate it or deactivate it. And it's almost like just like a targeting reticle. but it just indicates like what's going on, where you're aiming at, and kind of just adds to the overall feeling of the spell. And also with this actor, because I made it in C++ here, alongside just the actual arcane shards spell and all that. But anyways, I don't know what I'm doing. I can basically just spawn in any decal. So why this specific thing is going to be used for the spell, it's going to be nice for just if I want to use decals around the world, I have a very nice little actor that I can swap the decals out for and place them and just decorate the world. So there's that. But so with that, I then have to work on the actual spell itself, the gameplay ability. It's called Arcane Shards. Obviously with that, updating the ability info, just all the steps I do for every single spell, every single passive spell, assigning a decal, material, creating gameplay tags, and just to make sure everything's talking and working together. And so right now, really the only thing you can do is it just spawns in the magic circle to show where you're targeting, and when you click, it goes away, which is just right here. So show magic circle, and then it's waiting for the input press, and then hide magic circle, delay, and ability. So not much going on with it right now, but it's just the bones of it. I already have it equipped as a startup spell, so I don't have to unlock it, but you could spend ability point to unlock it once the actual game is working and like fully out. Obviously it works, so you can reassign it to any input you want. We're gonna leave it on 2 though. Go full screen here. I ran away from these guys. We'll go over here. Also, I was messing around with the UI a little bit. It was kind of a waste of time for me to do it because I'm gonna change this entire UI eventually. But now the passive spell, it's like spell box is a little bit bigger. It's not as small. It's more centered. I was just playing around with the spacers and padding to get it to look how I wanted to. But anyways, now the moment we've all been waiting for. So you see, I just click the 2, and you can see it's kind of targeting my enemies. There's like a little snap-on right now. I need to tweak it, make it look a little better. But this is just kind of like the initial stages of it. And so eventually, when I do use the ability, it will do something. But right now, if I click 2 again, it just goes away. Just ends the ability. But yeah, so that's kind of just where I'm at. Just a quick showcase of the beginning of this spell. I do think I'm going to end the devlog here. Like I probably have a plethora of clips. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully I'll have the arcane spell pretty much done when I start recording next. So a little cliffhanger for you. Look forward to it, please. Maybe. I'd appreciate it. I spend a lot of time on this stuff. So thanks for watching, and bye.